You know what I'm saying? The topic that's been buzzing for the past week all over Israel and on the news. So
Yeah, I
why
seen
not?
a video where these people was running by a tank,
Uh-huh.
and some cat just got blew up, and you could just see his body go up. They go, ooh.
Good
Like,
night.
like the cat got blowed up. I was like, damn, they turned this shit out. Like Putin is not playing with that shit. Like Putin is killing them Nazis.
Yeah, man, that boy, he on the road. He ain't playing, man.
He is not playing.
Yeah, I know you seen the video with the I guess the black folks. They ain't let him on the yeah.
I didn't see the video, but I heard Commander Juliana
Says,
that's crazy.
God. And they end up letting, the white Ukrainians on there.
Right. Hey, you know what? I pray that train get to wherever it's going and they blow that bitch up. Like before they get to where they going, like a missile just hit that motherfucker.
God.
Blow that bitch up. And you know what I'm saying? I feel good about that.
God, man.
And they said that it's a brother that played basketball. They got
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. Live. We live on the YouTube. We should be live on the Facebook as well. Come on in, Israel. We'll get started as soon as brothers and sisters start to come in. Y'all come on in. Got the sign in posted in the chat right now. All right. Get started in a little bit, y'all. Shalom, shalom. You can hear me?
Kind of on kind, sir.
All right, warrior. What's going on, officer? Y'all, what's up?
Not much. Driving on these highways, listening to class.
Oh, okay. Are you able to read and participate? Or you on the
I
road?
can participate, but I can't read though. But I got my
Oh, okay.
headset, so I can mute and unmute. You know what I'm saying? Everything like that.
I can dig it. I can dig it. What about camera time? Where you at?
Uh, I don't know
You know
if
what I'm
you can
saying?
see
Let the
me.
people know who you are, y'all. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Shalom Lord Christ. What's good, Israel? It's Officer Yawasop out of Florida. You know what I'm saying? Of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana.
Damn right. Seems dark. Where you at? Oh, you got the camera off?
I got the camera on, but I'm in the truck.
Oh, okay. All right. So we might as well get started, y'all. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakathum. Yahweh Shamar Alathun by Shem Yahshua. Precinct Officer Dawashah, but the ISUPK started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We've been teaching the truth since 1969, man. And the truth of the Bible is that this book that you've been reading about, that they made a fairy tale out of, really talks about the 12 tribes of Israel, which is you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? We make up the 12 tribes of Israel. This is our identity before we became slaves here in America, right? Our oppressors stripped us of our identity, our language, our culture, our heritage, and put names on us that they decided to put on us as slaves, right? When we go back and study the history, you'll find out that we really descend from the 12 tribes of Israel by blood. This is who we are as a nation, right? And we've been teaching that since 1969, bringing out all the scriptures, all the teachings, all the archaeological evidence, everything that you need that prove who we are. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, we've been also bringing out the prophecies of this Bible, right? The main one that's everybody's talking about right now is the end times, right? The last days. There you go. There you go. Austin and Shock in the building. You know what I'm
Shalom.
saying?
Yahweh
Shalom,
Shem
your
Yahshua
thumb.
Barakatah.
What's going on, Ward? All right.
We know, sir.
All right. Most High in Christ, right? So we've been bringing out the prophecies as well, right? The prophecies, the main one that everybody's talking about right now in 2022 is World War III, the last days, the end of the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's up in arms and finding out what's going on, trying to look through the scriptures, trying to find out how they're gonna survive, what they need to do, and all the everything when it comes to these last days, right? So what we're gonna do is break it down and give you the understanding of these prophecies and give you the understanding of what's going on in this world today. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that's going on today has been spoken of in the Bible over thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying? Holy men and righteous men of the Lord wrote these records down and was given visions and prophecies by the Most High. So that way we can read it today and understand what's going on today. So that way you don't be blindsided of what's going on today. You know what I'm saying? Is make sure it's very important that you understand these prophecies and understand what this book is talking about. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, books like Revelation, the Christian church is skipping right past that. You know what I'm saying? Anything that has to do with war and death and destruction, the church is skipping right past that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get Matthew 24 real quick. You know what I'm saying? Any Christian, if you claim to be a Christian and a follower of Christ, you should understand what's going on today. You know what I'm saying? You will not be one of those that's trying to avoid what's going on or stop what's going on or trying to pray for Ukraine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is what Christ prophesied about. You know what I'm saying? That Christ said all these things must come to pass. This has to happen. This is the inevitable, all designed by the Most High in order for Christ to return on this earth. Right? You got that for me, Warrior?
Kind of, so where we starting at?
You can start me at verse 1. I think verse 1 is.
Kind of. The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall be left here one stone upon another.
Right. Even as a prophet of God, Christ had to even prophesy against his own temple. Right? The temple that was in within his land. That the place that where his people went into worship the Most High in, right? He was given this prophecy and he had to speak on it because it was going to come to pass eventually. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's going on today, somebody should have warned you and prepared you for it. Well, Christ being a true leader of the people, warned the people and prepared them for the last days when the temple will be destroyed, when they'll lose their land and war will break out on the land. Right? Read on.
Come. That shall not be thrown down.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately,
Mm-hmm.
saying, tell us when shall these things be?
Right. So now the disciples are asking Christ, well, when are the last days going to come upon this earth? When are these days going to happen where you talking about the temple is going to be destroyed? We're going to lose our land. War is going to break out in the Middle East. Well, when are these days going to come to pass? Right? Read on.
Come. And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Mm-hmm.
And of the end of the world?
Right. The end of the world. Right? This is what everybody's talking about today. Read on.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Mm-hmm.
For many shall come in my name.
For what?
For many shall come in my name.
Read on.
Saying, I am Christ.
Saying what?
I am Christ.
Now, what is that talking about? Christ is saying in the last days, in the end of the world, that many's going to come in his name talking about, I am Christ. Go ahead, Trooper. Now.
Salaki, sir, I'll take a jab at it. Is that saying that many false prophets are going to say, going to come and try to get the people to follow them, follow like what they got going on, or like how these fake religious leaders get the people all worked up to follow them, and then at the end of the day, it's all about the money. And people going to say, "Well, Christ sent me, and I'm a man of God. I'm a man of Christ. I follow after Christ." All this and that.
That's exactly it. That's one of them as well. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them that goes with exactly what Christ is speaking about. In the last days, you hear about many people talking about they're men of God, women of God, but yet they don't understand what's going on in these last days. They don't understand the prophecies about World War I, World War II, and World War III. They don't prepare the people for COVID-19 and all the pestilence and disease that the Lord is bringing on this earth. You know what I'm saying? They just tell you that Christ is just about love and God is about love and just sing and dance and all that. Meanwhile, when things happen, when problems come about and diseases and plagues, you're not prepared for it. You don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You walking around like a chicken with his head cut off because your religious leader ain't never prepared you for it. You know what I'm saying? But yet they say they follow Christ. Yet they say they know Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? They tell you about your future relationships and about your husband about to leave you in a couple of days, but they ain't prepare you for COVID-19. Ain't no pastor seen that in the future. Ain't nobody could have seen a global pandemic coming to this whole earth. Come on. But yet you're able to prophesy to John about his broken leg. What kind of, you know what I'm saying? What kind of nonsense is that, man? You know what I'm saying? Your pastors don't know Christ, right? And they have put up many false narratives about Jesus Christ. They made him out to be a white boy. You know what I'm saying? They made him out to be some Caucasian when there is no proof that he is a white man. When all the evidence point to him being a dark-skinned man, a black man from the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? But yet they still uphold that image in their church. They changed the narrative of how he taught and his mannerism and who he was as a person. The Bible says Christ was an austere man. You know what austere mean? What does austere mean? What does that mean? You can just go ahead.
It means, serious,
right.
Serious in nature.
God, serious. Christ was militant, a soldier. You know what I'm saying? But every time you see him in the movies and in the plays, they make him out to be somebody that's passive and just some soft-spoken hippie that just loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? When Christ was an austere man, serious, militant brother. You know what I'm saying? And serving the Most High. Go ahead, also, right?
All right, so I got the definition.
Go ahead.
Severe or strict in manner or attitude.
Severe, strict in manner and attitude. And you wonder why they killed him. Think about it. You think they wanted to kill him if he was just so soft-spoken and sweet and loving? You know what I'm saying? They had that hatred towards him because he was a strong brother. They seen him as a threat. You know what I'm saying? They seen the militancy. They seen that he was no joke. You get what I'm saying? And you have to be that way in order to serve the Most High. Go ahead.
That's a lot, sir. In this wicked empire, you know what I'm saying? They're police force. They'll shoot you down for being austere. They try to make that something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he was aggressive just because you were stern. You know what I'm saying? Because you're solid and you stand. You know what I'm saying? They want to make it seem like, oh, that's something, that I can gun you down in the street for. You know what I'm saying?
God, nah, you're exactly right. Ain't that the cat that shot, what's his brother name? Michael Brown, the police officer that shot Michael Brown, said he seen the fierceness in his eyes before he shot him. He said he feared for his life. You know what I'm saying? And when this was a young black man, you know what I'm saying? And just because he wasn't no soft sissy, You get what I'm saying? He seen him as a threat. Go ahead, also, right?
A young black man being himself.
Right, being himself. His true nature. Right? How the Lord designed a man to be. You know what I'm saying? The same way Christ was. You know what I'm saying? Christ was an austere man. But yet, in the last days, you hear about all type of Christ. You know what I'm saying? You hear religions, Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholic. You even hear it with Islam, right? They make Muhammad out to be some Messiah. You know what I'm saying? You have cats like Haile Selassie, the Ethiopia Jesus Christ. You get what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to be Christ. You get what I'm saying? But nobody want to open up these records and really learn about Jesus Christ, right? Go ahead, read on.
Like, if I may, sir.
Get down, warrior.
Con. So, what the warrior just read, you know what I mean? Verse 5, you know, that's heavy because it's saying that, you know, we will be deceived. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the people that come in Christ's name saying that they speak in Christ's words are telling you you can eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And now you deceive. You know what I'm saying? Right. They telling you, you know what I'm saying? God love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And now you deceive. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if I may, sir, like that's what Christ is saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna, like when he keep reading, it's gonna get heavy. You know what I'm saying? Christ is gonna tell you, you know what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be worried. But the only way you're not gonna be worried, sir, is if you in the truth of the ISUPK. Other than that, you don't know what's going on. Like you were saying earlier, you have no clue. But having a head and being under commanding General Yohana, we know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We have a man to break down these scriptures for us, so we don't have to be worried. You know what I'm saying? Like Commanding General Yohana say, we just sit back, eat popcorn, and enjoy the show. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah, right, so yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are well trained and professionals prepared for what's coming on this earth. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because the Lord has risen up true prophets and true leaders to guide so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Indigenous people, right? Out of all this conflict that's going on this earth, Black people, we have to figure out where do we stand in the midst of this. You get what I'm saying? At the end of all of this, when the smoke clears, where are you going to be? On what side of the fence are you going to be, Black man, Hispanic man, Indigenous man? You know what I'm saying? Well, we got to figure out what's going to be best for us so we can survive on this earth. They got video out right now where they're not letting dark-skinned Africans on the train to flee Ukraine. They're denying them access on the train in the middle of a war while bombs is dropping. People are dying, but yet your oppressor does not forget to be racist. That's one thing that don't slip his mind. You know what I'm saying? No matter what's going on the earth, you'll never forget that he hates your dark skin. You get what I'm saying? You get denied access to flee so you can save your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got to figure out what we got to do for ourselves and taking care of ourselves in these last days, Black man, Hispanic man, Indigenous man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. Taking care of your nation. You know what I'm saying? Because Ukraine understands when it comes down to it, they're only concerned about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Well, we have to take that same route in these last days, right? Go ahead, read on Triple Canal.
Come. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You shall what?
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Conflicts, nations against nations. You know what I'm saying? The Ukraine war, in North Korea, China, wars in the Middle East with Afghanistan, war with Israel and Palestine. All these conflicts going on in the earth today is because we're living in the last days, right? Read on.
Come, sir. See that ye be not troubled.
Be what?
See that ye be not troubled.
Be not troubled. Read on.
For all these things must come to pass.
They what?
For all these things must come to pass.
Nah. General Mayak brought a heavy point last night of how everybody's trying to, say pray for Ukraine, so maybe the Lord can stop the war and stop everything that's going on, so we can just live in harmony and peace. You know what I'm saying? When Christ just said that all these things must come to pass, meaning this is what the Lord desires. This is what God wants to come to pass on this earth, right? In order for Christ to return, all these things must happen. Wars and conflicts must go on this earth in order for Christ to return. So if you trying to say, go out and pray for Ukraine, you know what I'm saying, where you trying to go against what God wants. You trying to go against what Christ wants. You know what I'm saying? When Christ just said all these things must come to pass, right? This has been prophesied over 2,000 years ago. Christ was letting you know what's going to happen on this earth. He was not just out there in the streets of Israel talking about love all day. Right? Let me hold that real quick. Let me get Jeremiah 28:8 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
On the same point where you say they talking about pray for Ukraine, this morning I read a news article that they telling the black people that's over there, I don't know if they Israel or not, but they told them they got to get the Ukrainians that need safe harbor out first.
Good night. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking care of humanity. What happened to everybody? All our blood is red. What happened to we're all the same and we're all God's children? You know what I'm saying? When stuff hit the fan,
if I may,
they know how to stick with their own. You know what I'm saying? The problem is black people, we're not gathered together. We don't know how to stick with each other. You know what I'm saying? We're beefing with each other in our neighborhoods. We hate each other. We don't even tolerate each other. You know what I'm saying? You got a group of white friends. As soon as another black person come around, you look down on that person. You can't even stand to be around each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is important in these last days that we come together as a nation, man. Because our survival depends on it. All right. Somebody said Salaki, my bad.
Salaki, come.
All right, go ahead.
What the officer just said is sound like to me they just trying to be politically correct after the stuff hit the fan, okay? And everybody know that they oppressing black people over there and won't let them on the train. Now they saying, oh, well, you have to be a Ukraine by origin first, by nation, and then, first we got to get all the Ukraines by nation out first. Then, anybody who's an immigrant over here or alien or foreigner, then we can get you out. Sound like they're just trying to cover their rear end, sir.
God, they trying to clean it up. That's what they trying to do. Trying to clean it up a bit and make it seem like it's not what it is when it's flat out racism. You know what I'm saying? They're showing racism towards dark-skinned people. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? They hate your guts, man. You know what I'm saying? It's time to wake up and smell the coffee. This is the reality that you live in, black man, Hispanic man, indigenous man. You know what I'm saying? Life is not no fairy tale. This is not no Disney movie. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that the world that we live in today is towards people having conflict with each other, people going to war, people killing each other, hatred amongst each other. That's the reality of today. You know what I'm saying? What you got to decide is to serve the Most High so the Lord can save you in these last days. Keep the law, statute, commandments so you don't have to suffer in these last days, man. You got that for me, Rod? Oh, Jeremiah 28.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old.
Of old, meaning in the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, read on.
Prophesied both against many countries.
Prophesied what?
Both against many countries.
No, about love.
Against many countries.
No, about everybody coming together.
Against many countries.
A prophet will tell it like it is, man. That's what a prophet does. Regardless if it's nice or sweet or whatever it is. A prophet will tell it like it is. You know what I'm saying? And the reality of this is that America and the whole earth is getting ready to go to war. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is getting ready to destroy these strongholds of these countries, man. Read on.
And against great kingdoms.
Against what?
And against great kingdoms.
Superpowers on this earth. Great kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? Countries that rule the whole earth. Like the Babylonian Empire, the Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, now America. You know what I'm saying? And all those empires that I mentioned, all of them fell. You get what I'm saying? Each and every one of those great empires, great kingdoms fell at one time. And what makes you think America is any different? You know what I'm saying? A prophet will warn you about its fall before it happens so you can get ready. You was going to say something, Officer Rod?
Come. Salaki, sir. This right here is never spoken in the Christian church.
Right.
Never spoken.
God.
Ain't heard nothing about war. Heard nothing about prophets prophesying against kingdoms. They don't say that. They don't speak that.
God.
You know what
They're
it's
right.
all love and love everybody.
God.
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? God. Go ahead. So continue on. Damn right. Continue on.
Come. Salaki. And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Good night. That's what a prophet does. That's what it said in the Bible, right? A prophet will let you know what's going to happen on this earth before it happens. Right? Where were all the pastors at during COVID-19? The Christian church was shut down during the pandemic. All their doors is closed. You know what I'm saying? Not one of them was out there trying to make sure that you was all right, making sure that your bills was paid. You depending on the oppressor to send you a stimulus check just so you could pay for your lights. Meanwhile, the Christian church had all the wealth during the pandemic, all the tithes money. They didn't come out with no stimulus for the neighborhood at all, man. You know what I'm saying? But yet they told you everything was going to be fine. You ain't got to worry about nothing. They did not prepare you for what's to come, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, a true prophet would tell it like it is, just like Jesus Christ did, man. Jump me back to Matthew 24 real quick.
Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
Nation shall rise against nation. Russia against Ukraine. Israel against Palestine. You know what I'm saying? Iraq against Israel. China and Taiwan. North Korea versus South Korea. Nation shall rise against nation. Read on.
And kingdom against kingdom.
Kingdom against kingdom. Read on.
And there shall be famines. And pestilence.
Famine, pestilence.
And earthquakes.
Right now, the supermarket, you can barely find anything on the shelf in most supermarkets across the U.S. You know what I'm saying? This is a sign to let you know that soon enough, those supermarkets going to be cleared out. You know what I'm saying? Meat is like through the roof now. To get a steak is like double the price than what it was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Trooper Matthias, you know what I'm saying, in the building. This is letting you know what's going to come to pass, man. The famines. You not having enough food to eat. Not having enough to get you by throughout the month. Living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Christ is letting you know that this is going to come to pass. This is the last days. Right? Read that from famine again.
Come. And there shall be famine.
Famine.
And pestilence.
Pestilence. What's pestilence?
People stealing and shit. Is that what it is? Pestilence? Like when people just in an uproar.
You're going to have to speak louder. My bad.
Oh, Salaki. Is that like what's going on now? Like people stealing and just doing all kind of manner of evil, like injustice, like murders, like.
Not quite. Pestilence. What's pestilence? Let's get that real quick. What's pestilence?
Salaki.
I heard. Let me get Trooper Matthias first.
like if I could pestilence, that would be like sicknesses from like disease.
God, that's exactly what it is. Pestilence is a disease, right? Disease like COVID-19, a global pandemic that shut down the whole earth. You got the definition as well? What that say?
It's like it says pestilence, Oxford language.
Mm-hmm.
A fatal epidemic disease.
A what?
A fatal epidemic disease.
Don't that sound like COVID-19? Read on.
Especially bubonic plague.
Mm-hmm. You was gonna say something, right? My bad. Nah, go and get that. What you gonna say?
No, I'm saying definitely.
God, right. That's the definition right there. You know what I'm saying? Christ told you about it. This is how you know you in the last days. You're at the end right now. You know what I'm saying? If you thinking that you can go on and live on and be happy in America for the rest of your life, you know what I'm saying? Get ready, because you don't know what's gonna come tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Christ warned you about this over 2,000 years ago. Now, since when have you ever heard of a global pandemic that shut down the whole earth? Name me one time in the whole world history where the whole earth shut down from a disease. That has never happened before, man. I'm talking about, remote places as well. Everywhere on this earth was shut down from this disease, man. And that was done by God, man. God brought COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? God is bringing about these wars. God is the one that got Russia fighting Ukraine. You know why? Because you're living in the last days, man. God is getting ready to shut down these strong countries and these strong empires and kingdoms of this earth. And he's going to bring about a new regime, a new government, and a new stronghold to rule this earth, man. And, you got people making talks of, is China going to be next to rule this earth? China got a great military. They got a good economic system. There's even talks about, is Russia going to be the next one to rule this earth? Well, here in the ISUPK, we are praying that Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people are up next, man. You know what I'm saying? And according to the Bible, you are the next ones to rule this earth. Why are you concerned about everybody's economic structure and system? You know what I'm saying? Let's fix our own, fix our country, fix our nation, so that way when Christ returns, we'll be right there in rulership with him. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what God wants to happen on this earth. You want to say something else, Ra?
Sir. Lucky. Pulling it up right now. This was something that Officer Kabi had sent to us earlier in the group.
Mm-hmm.
It says, this is from the newsbreakapp.com. A Texas software developer, and based on what you were saying concerning the Most High, you know what I'm saying, is orchestrating this war. You know what I'm saying? Orchestrating World War III. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's not going to be stopped.
Right.
It's not going to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? It was the Most High, put his hand in it, it's a wrap. Mm-hmm. It says, a Texas software developer and a cook in British Columbia are among dozens of Americans and Canadians answering Ukraine's call for foreign volunteers to fight Russia's invasion. Man. With their governments refusing to send troops to Ukraine out of fear of sparking a world war.
Look at that. Regardless.
They're trying to hold back on it. The government's trying to hold back on it. The UN trying to hold back on it. The Most High riles up the citizens. You want to go over there and fight and help the Ukraine?
Right. Get a Lord a hand for that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, what the Lord said, he said he hardens Pharaoh's heart. Like, if you're familiar with the Bible, right? Well, who you think destroyed Egypt? If God is just all love and peace and everybody coming together, how come he only killed the Egyptians in the Red Sea, but he didn't kill none of the Israelites? How come he only killed the Egyptians firstborn, but he didn't kill none of the Israelites firstborn? You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord wanted Pharaoh to be destroyed. That's the reason why he raised them up. And it's no different from what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. The Lord hardens Putin's heart. And he's going this all the way. He's going all the way with this. You know what I'm saying? You think Ukraine is the last country he's going to invade? Get ready. He's about to make a world tour. You know what I'm saying? Making pit stops in different countries, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the Lord wants to happen on this earth, man. And you cannot avoid it. The thing you have to do is prepare yourself. And how do you prepare yourself? It's not with singing and dancing. What the hell singing and dancing gonna do for you? You know what I'm saying? You going to church singing and dancing and screaming and thinking you got the Holy Ghost. What the hell has that done for you? The scripture says faith without works is dead, man. Faith without works is dead. What actions are you taking to prepare yourself for Christ's return? What are you putting in place and making sure that you do by your actions and by your behavior for preparing for Christ's return? You screaming and dancing is nothing, man. You have to really take in consideration on the times that you're living in right now and start taking action for your life and for your nation. Because Christ done warned you about this. And when he returns, many are going to come up to him and say, didn't we prophesy in the streets with you, Lord? Didn't we go out there and feed you? Didn't we go out there and help the sick and the poor and speak your word? And Christ is going to say, depart from me, for I know ye not. Because you didn't prepare the 12 tribes of Israel. Yeah, you had the mega church. You got the Rolls Royce. You got the plane and the helicopter flying in the church. But what are you doing for the community, man? Brothers and sisters are still unemployed due to this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? The wealth gap in America increased during the pandemic. You got more of us living in poverty due to what happened to COVID-19. And you mean to tell me the billions of dollars that the Christian church, they can't do nothing about it? Come on, man. They can do something about it. The problem is they don't want to do anything about it. They're going to just enjoy America and watch you die. Well, guess what? Christ done set the prophets back so you can prepare yourself. Right? Any more on that, Worry?
It's like, sir, and it says, and earthquakes in diverse places.
Mm-hmm. Any more on that? That was it?
That was in the first sentence.
All right. So we can drop that. Let me get 2 Ezra 6 and 9. Yeah, if you got it, you know.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
For Esau is the end of the world.
For what?
For Esau is the end of the world.
The Bible also mentioned one of the signs of the end of the world or the end of the times is Esau being the end of the world. Now, $1 million question would be is, who is Esau then? Who is Esau? Somebody help me out. Who is Esau? Go ahead.
Sir, Esau will be the so-called white man.
So-called white man, according to the Bible, right?
According to the Bible.
Let's get that real quick. Genesis 25 and 25. Let's see if you're making that up. Right? He said Esau is the white man. Well, let's see if the Bible backs up his statement. Right? We all believe that God is the creator. So if God being the creator, won't you find every nation written that exists today written of in the Bible? If God is the creator of all nations, right? He's the creator. So let's go ahead and find out who every nation is according to the Bible. Go ahead, soldier.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. Mm-hmm. And the first came out red.
The first came out what?
And the first came out red.
Right. This is talking about Rebecca, right? Right. Rebecca was her name, right? Right. When she was pregnant with twins. Right? She was pregnant with twins. The Bible says that they were struggling in the womb, fighting in the womb. Right? So she went about to inquire of the Most High of the complications that she's having in this pregnancy. And the Lord let her know that you're going to have two manner of people in that womb, two different separate people in that womb. You know what I'm saying? And now we're reading about the time of her birth. Right? Now it's talking about the first one came out red all over. Now, who is that describing today? Who is the one people that turn red when they sit out in the sun? Who is the one people that is red when they're angry? Who's the one person that's red that you even look at him? Go ahead. The so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? You know what's white? This piece of paper right here is white. That's what white really is. Don't nobody look like this on earth. You know what I'm saying? But the so-called white man, we say so-called because he's not really white. You know what I'm saying? He comes in different shades of red and pink. You know what I'm saying? His blood show forth through his skin. He don't have any pigmentation. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Lord designed him to be. Right? Read on.
Come. And the first came out red.
Mm-hmm.
All over like a hairy garment.
All over like a hairy garment. Full of hair. You know what I'm saying? The original caveman. Beard all the way down to his belly button. You know what I'm saying? Hair all on his back. Hair all over his arms. It's describing you the genetics of the so-called white race. Right? Read on.
And they called his name Esau.
Call his name what?
Esau.
Right. He became the progenitor, meaning the father of the so-called white race. Right? And then he grew into a nation called Edom, which means red. Right? Any more on that? That was it on that one?
Kind of, sir.
Jump me back to second Ezra. Right? So now we know who Esau is. Right? Esau, the nation, the people of Esau is the end of the world. Now, does that mean that this whole planet Earth is going to blow up? Right? We see movies and shows that they put out there in Hollywood about the end of the world being a whole comet just blowing everybody up. You know what I'm saying? What the scriptures say? Somebody give me where it says the earth abided forever. If somebody can give me that. This I think is probably in Psalm somewhere around it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord created this earth to abide forever, meaning to exist forever. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere in the Bible did it say that the Lord is going to blow up the whole planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got to understand the difference between the earth and the world, right? The word, the definition for the word world is talking about an age or a society. So whenever the Bible talks about the end of a world, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about the end of a certain age or a certain society, right? And that's the age and society that we live in today. The Lord is looking to bring about the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Not the whole planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Come. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
And what?
And Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So when this world ends, when Esau worlds end, guess what? Jacob is going to be the beginning that follows after. Meaning our world is going to begin to exist on this earth. Right now, who is Jacob? Who is that talking about? Go ahead.
That is our forefather, the father of the tribes of Israel.
Right. God, the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob's name was later on to change to Israel, right? And then he ended up having 12 sons. His 12 sons grew into the nation of Israel, right? Into 12 different tribes. And this is who we descend from as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? Black is a color. That is not an identity. You know what I'm saying? Hispanic is the culture that the Spaniards and the conquistadors put on the indigenous people of this land and put on the indigenous people of South America and the Caribbean islands, right? That's the language of the Spaniards, right? This land used to belong to the native Indians and to the so-called Europeans stole this land from them. Well, we got to figure out who do we descend from? Where do we come from as a people? What language did we speak? What food did we eat? What clothes did we wear? All of that matters. You know why? Because it matters to God, man. Because you are the chosen people and you are the ones that's going to rule after this kingdom. Right? Drop that. Let's get Ezekiel 38:1. You got that? The earth about it forever.
Ecclesiastes 1:4.
Kyle, what that say real quick?
Ecclesiastes 1:4 says, "One generation passes away, and another generation cometh."
Right here on this earth. You know what I'm saying? You have kingdoms that pass away, and then another kingdom rise up. You got generations that pass away, and then another generation comes. Right? Read on.
But the earth abideth forever.
But the what?
But the earth abideth forever.
This rock that we live on, called the planet Earth, abideth forever. Meaning it will exist forever, man. The thing that's going to change is the people that's in rulership. That's what the Lord is looking to bring to an end. He's looking to bring this age and this society to an end and start up a new one. Right? You got that for me in Ezekiel?
Come, say Ezekiel 38:8. 38.
You start with verse 1.
Come.
Right, let's go ahead and read out these prophecies.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God.
Set thy face against who?
God. The land of Magog.
The land of Magog, right? Gog and Magog is talking about the landmass in which Russia exists today, right? And in the biblical times, it was known as the land of Gog and Magog, right? Gog meaning mountains, right? It's the northern part of what they call Asia or Eastern Europe. You know what I'm saying? You had Gog and Magog of Gog, right? That's at one time, Russia, right, was part of the Soviet Union, right? And then you had countries that bordered Russia and also Eastern Europe that was part of the Soviet Union as well. It was part of Russia, right? You had Russia and you had the Eastern European countries that was of Russia, right? The same way you have Gog and Magog, Gog and of Gog. You know what I'm saying? That's talking about the landmass where Russia exists today. Ezekiel's getting the prophecy of what's going to happen in the last days. Right? Read on.
Come. The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right. Those neighboring countries. Those land masses that surround Russia. Right? Read on.
Come. And prophesy against him.
Read on.
And say, Thus says the Lord God. Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back.
Right. He'll do what?
And I will turn thee back.
He's going to turn them back. Right? Because at one point, like I said, all these countries was together. Ukraine was part of Russia. Right? You had Georgia that was part of Russia. All them Kazakhstan's countries that's on the border, the southern part of Russia, was part of it. You know what I'm saying? During the Soviet Union. You know what I'm saying? And America was at once at conflict with Russia. Right? They had the whole Cold War. Right? If anybody's familiar with the Cold War, you know what I'm saying? The Cold War existed after World War II. You know what I'm saying? They had conflict with each other. Right? And it wasn't until the Berlin Wall fell, and that's when they was able to dissolve the Soviet Union. That's when they broke apart. You know what I'm saying? And all the conflict ended up dying down. You know what I'm saying? That's when relations between U.S. and Russia was more, diplomatic. You know what I'm saying? They had a understanding with each other. They wasn't in war with each other after the Berlin Wall fell down. You know what I'm saying? You were gonna say something, Officer Ra?
So yeah, Russia being, part of the Soviet Union, or whatsoever. Biden spoke out of his mouth. That is said that is Putin's desire is to reestablish the Soviet Union.
Damn right. God, that's his mission.
Right.
His mission is to bring about the Soviet Union, so they can be a great superpower like they once was during the Cold War.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they end up losing that power and being more friendly with the U.S. What the Lord has said, he's going to turn them back. Meaning what Putin is doing, like Officer Rod just said, what Putin is doing is right now, what he's doing right now, he's looking to turn back the Soviet Union, to turn back that conflict that they had once had with America. Right? The Lord is doing this. The Lord is turning them back to establish this on this earth. Right? Read on.
I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army.
Right, like a hook on that jaw, right? Like you going fishing, you throw that line out, hoping that fish bite that hook. Once that fish bite that hook, you know what I'm saying? It's fighting to get loose. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to swim away, it's trying to get out of that hook. And as somebody that casts that line, you got to reel it in, fight with it to get it back in. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Lord is saying about Russia. He's going to reel them back into war, into conflict with the whole other countries in the U.S. You want to say something?
Get that. Like, sir, just to follow behind what you're saying is heavy. It's just like he's saying, like, like you say, he's gonna put that hook in his mouth to lead him wherever he want him to go. Like to make him do what he want him to do. Like he gonna turn him this way, turn him that way. Like he can't turn away, even if he didn't want to take it this far. Right. The Most High is in control. Damn. He gonna control him to which direction he want him to go. God. To bring these prophecies forth, because like you say, his word ain't void. Right, God, damn right, right. The Lord said, "My word don't go out, not in vain." You know what I'm saying? The Lord said it is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he prophesied blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people going into slavery. Is it that not in the Bible? It's in Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. If you read it, it talks about the transatlantic slave trade. Well, guess what? Also talks about World War III. And this is how the Lord is going to make it come to pass. He's saying he's going to draw them back, right? No matter how much peace they try to do, how much peace they want. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is bringing them back to war. You know what I'm saying? They thought since the Cold War was over and they broke up the Soviet Union that there was going to be no more conflict from Russia. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Lord is getting them ready. You know what I'm saying? He's getting their armies together. And guess what? Now you're in World War III. All right? You thinking that World War III is coming. It has already came. This is World War III you're in. You know what I'm saying? They say history repeats itself. Well, guess what? You're in World War III. The same way World War II started, guess what? This is how World War III is starting as well. Somebody said, Salaki, my bad.
Come on, sir. Go ahead. What you saying is so heavy because I remember about a few years ago when General Johanna was talking about these prophecies that's going to come to pass with this World War III. The main one that kicked it off was the Damascus. The Great War will start in Damascus. And lo and behold, boom, it was an airstrike right in Damascus with the Israelis.
Damn right. God. You know what I'm saying? In World War II as well. You know what I'm saying? When Germany invaded Poland, that's when it jumped it off. That's when World War II popped off. You know what I'm saying? Well, now Russia is invading Ukraine, right? Because Germany wanted Poland to be a part of the Nazi government, and Putin want Ukraine to be part of the Russian government. So it's no different. Go ahead,
So like I said, what you're saying is heavy too, because just like you're saying, like Germany, they start beating up on all the neighboring.
So like one. Can y'all hear me? My bad. I turned on the speaker. Y'all can hear me good?
Calm. Kind of sound like you went down a little bit, but I can still hear you.
Okay. I'll probably just turn it off. God. Go ahead.
I was saying, Sir Salaki, just like Hitler beat up all the neighboring countries that used to be a part of Germany, like Poland and all that, Holland and all that. That's exactly what Putin knew. He taking back the countries that seceded and turned their back and went westward with the Western thing. He's gonna take all those countries back bit by bit. He already done took Ukraine just about. He's like a third of the country. Yeah. And then, you know, that was going to stop him from taking another Czechoslovakia or something like that broke off from the Soviet Union.
Right, damn right. And this was talked about over thousands of years ago in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Before there was no tanks back then. You know what I'm saying? No missiles. There was no airplanes. But yet Ezekiel got this vision, wrote it down so we can read about it today. In all my years that I've been in the Christian church, I ain't never heard a pastor break this down. Not once.
I didn't think I ever heard him read it.
Right. He just goes straight to John 3:16, go to tell you to pay your tithes, play a little music, church is over. Yeah. Every Sunday, that's the same routine. Every single Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, bombs is dropping on this earth, and you don't know what to do. You don't even know if the Russian government can cut off the electricity right now. What you gonna do? Right? It's a new age we living in. Cyber attacks, all type of attacks that they can do, other than dropping missiles. They cut off the electricity today. Half of the black community and Hispanic community won't even know what to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the pastor have not prepared y'all for what's gonna come to pass on this earth. And Christ said it must come to pass. This is not an if, and, or but. It's going to happen. World War III is here.
Sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
Come. Yeah, so what you're saying, you know what I mean? Like the Lord said it's going to happen. And, you know, like if the Lord said, you know it's going to come to pass. And the precept is in Psalms chapter 18 and verse 30.
Kyle, let's get down. Get that word.
I got it, sir.
Okay.
Psalms chapter 18 and verse 30. As for the power, his way is perfect. The word of the Most High is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him.
God, if you could read that one more time in the beginning, my bad. I'll sit in the shop.
Psalms chapter 18, verse 30. As for the power, his way is perfect.
His what?
His way is perfect.
Guess what? What he's doing on this earth right now, it is right and perfect. The Lord don't make no mistakes. You know what I'm saying? This is not a mistake that's going on this earth. Neither is this something that the Lord can't control. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that's out of his hands that he got no control of. He knows exactly what's going on in this earth. And he's making it happen because the Lord is perfect. He knows every move. He knows everything that's being done. Because he wants this to happen in order to bring the salvation of Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. And if you ever wonder why the world as it is today, with the war and the disease and the conflict and everything that's going on, it's for you, Black man, Hispanic man, indigenous man. It's for your salvation. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is willing to destroy these countries just so he can save a starving Black man from the ghetto. So he can save the Mexican children that's locked up in the border. You know what I'm saying? So we can save the kids in the barrio and the favelas and the reservations, man, that have no food or water. They got kids that don't even have running clean water in the reservations. They can't even take showers for weeks because they don't have no clean water. And the Lord is doing this just so he can give them an opportunity to get out of their condition, man. That's the God that we serve. You know what I'm saying? My fault, officer in the shop. You can continue with my bad.
Come, sir. No sweat, sir. Psalms 18 and 30. For the power, as for the power, his way is perfect. The word of the Most High is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him.
Nah, he says he gave other nations for a ransom. God, that was it, Austin the shot?
Come, sir.
God, that was a perfect precept, boy.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time that we live in right now, right? If you can just find me that where it said the Lord gave other nations up for a ransom, right? The Lord is willing to destroy other nations for the sake of blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, for the sake of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's how much he loved the 12 tribes of Israel.
Isaiah 43.
What that say? I don't think it's Isaiah, if I'm not mistaken.
Isaiah 43 say, for I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead. Read that. My bad. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 3. For I am the Lord thy God, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom.
He did what?
Gave Egypt for thy ransom.
What's a ransom? So somebody, what's a ransom? What is that? For an exchange for what?
Something in exchange for property.
He said he gave up Egypt for thy ransom. Meaning Egypt was existing and it was a great country, full of wealth and full of people. And the Lord decided to give that up for the sake of the 12 tribes of Israel. You got that? Okay.
Ransom. Oxford's Dictionary, English words. A sum of money demanded or paid for the release of a captive.
For what?
For the release of a captive.
The Lord is willing to give up on these nations, destroy them, no matter how wealthy they are, no matter how powerful and great and big they are, for the exchange for the release of the captives, man. Well, guess what? Who is the captives today? Who are the captives? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, man. You know how you know you're a captive? Because you don't know your language. You don't know nothing about your history before you became a slave here in America. Your history here in America starts with slavery. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You start with the transatlantic slave trade. You go into their public school systems, they don't teach you nothing before that. You're the captive, man. And the Bible just said he gave up great nations, great superpowers of this earth for a ransom for the 12 tribes of Israel, man. For so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. And that's what he's getting ready to do today. This is why you see conflict going on with Russia, conflict in the Middle East, conflict in China, diseases, earthquakes, because the Lord is willing to give a ransom for his people, man. He's willing to give up these nations just so your people can get salvation. And don't blow it, black man, Hispanic man. You're giving you're about to get the opportunity of a lifetime, man. All you have to do is change your life and serve God, man. Do what the Lord tells you to do. Keep his commandments, and he will protect you and give you salvation in the midst of all this hell that's going on. And you'll be the next one to rule on this earth. And guess what? When black people rule, there will be no wars going on. There will be none of that going on. Of course, we won't go to war with these nations and taking our rulership. But once all the smoke clears, ain't no war, no diseases, and none of that go on, man. The Lord established this earth for his people to rule it with his laws and his statutes and commandments, man. But once we broke away from that, this is why you have all this chaos going on this earth. But once the Lord established us again, guess what? You're going to find structure on this earth. But it starts with you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. You got to be willing to do it, right? Jump me back to God and Magog. I just want to bring that point out. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them that cloth with all the sorts of armor. It's like with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
What does that sound like?
Like a military.
Right. Sounds like war, don't it? You know what I'm saying? The Lord has prophesied thousands of years ago that Gog and Magog, Russia and of Russia, will go to war, man. Right? Read on.
Come. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya.
Hold on now. I thought the Bible was a mythical book. Why is it naming countries that still exist today? Because obviously it's not a mythical book, man. It's a book about reality and what goes on this earth. And the reason why it's mentioning them, because it's letting you know what's going to happen to these countries today. Russia ain't the only one that's about to go to war right now, or in the war right now. You know what I'm saying? You will have other countries, allies, and axes that's going to join in this fight. Same thing with World War II. You know what I'm saying? Germany had his allies. America had his allies. You don't think Russia ain't got no allies? He got allies as well, too. You know what I'm saying? Ukraine got his allies also. And everybody's going to join in on this fight. Go ahead.
If I may, like the so-called white man is so devilish and conniving that he liberally, like, he let China. It's one of them bomb Pearl Harbor.
Japan.
It was Japan. Just so he can get into the war, because the whole United States are like how they was now. They didn't want to get into World War II. And he knew that the people was against him, just like how the people are against Putin. And he deliberately let his own country get bombed just so he can go in and fight.
In World War II. God. You know what I'm saying? Japan got involved. All type of countries got involved,
and
man.
That's what's going to probably happen in the United States.
Right. It's just no different. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said is nothing new under the sun, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're reading about right now. Read that for me one more time, warrior.
Verse 5. Ezekiel 38:5. Persia.
They gonna join the war.
Ethiopia.
They gonna join the war.
And Libya with them.
They gonna join also. Read on.
All of them with shields and helmets.
Right. This is gonna be the world war. Right. Read on.
Gomer. And all his band.
Right. Gomer. Talking about Germany. Right. Talking about those European countries. Read on.
And the house of Togarmah. Of the north quarter.
Right. All them European countries. Read on.
And all his band. And many people with them.
Right. Right. These are the countries that's going to fight in this world war. You know what I'm saying? Many countries are going to join in on this, man. Right now, it's starting out with just Russia and Ukraine. Right. But eventually it's going to grow beyond that. Right. There's talks already on, you know, like the brother brought out, also Rod brought out, how they want the civilians to join in from Canada and U.S. Right? They God.
The civilians were volunteering.
Oh, they volunteering to go over there. God, look at that. You know what I'm saying? They like Biden ain't doing enough.
Right.
I'll rather go myself and handle this situation.
So you got those gun ho Edomites that look at Biden as it was a chump move.
Right.
You know Putin basically bluffed him, boy.
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right, exactly.
God. And Biden, he trying to hold off with the sanctions and all of that stuff and cut ties off with Russia, but they ain't gonna stop him. Eventually, he's gonna get dragged in, pulled by the jaw, like the Bible just spoke about. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much this country try to stop it or don't want to face it, it's going to war. Right? You was gonna say something about that? Go ahead.
It's based on, you know what I'm saying? America, if these folks don't know, is a very prideful empire. You know what I'm saying? So for Putin to make
proud boys.
Yeah. For Putin to make that type of statement that if you interfere, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna reap consequences that you never have in your history. You know what I'm saying? So, some people might have backed down like, oh, okay, but the spirit of America is prideful. They not really they're not really gonna back down from that too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even if the government try to, be cautious, the citizens are prideful. Esau is prideful. This nation is prideful. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you got the civilians like, oh, he's not gonna do it.
I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Hey, go right at it.
Listen. Long story short, it's happening regardless.
Right. Yeah, you in it right now, black man. You in World War III. This is it. Right? You don't heard about it, see movies about it. Well, guess what? Now you're in it. You're living it. What do you do now? What we have to do is gather ourselves together, man. Come back to our nation. Come back to our identity and who we are, to our language, to our culture, and establish our own government. Let them fight. Let them blow themselves up and bomb each other to oblivion, back to the Stone Age. Let us separate and build our own government for us to take care of each other, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only way it's going to get done. This prophecy is going to come to pass, right? Any more on that? Let me read. Can you read me verse 7, Baba Kasha?
Come, sir. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Right. This is going down. It is going down, right? Let me get Revelations 13. Let's get some more prophecies about the last days.
The book of Revelations, chapter 13, verse 1.
Right. We about to read a book that the Christian church skip all together. They don't even, they don't even see Revelations. The book of Revelation is non-existent in the Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? We're going to go to it. We're going to dive into it. We're going to break it all the way down for you to understand. So you can prepare yourself for these last days we in. Right? Read that for me, Warrior.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right. He said this is a vision that John was given from the Most High. Right. And in this vision, he's describing what he sees. Right. And he said he's seen a beast coming out the sea, meaning the earth. Right. Meaning a beast. Right. Coming out the earth. Right. Now, what does this beast represent? What is this beast talking about? Is this a actual beast that we know of today? Like a creature or an animal? What is it talking about?
Talking about a man.
Talking about a man. Let's get, what's the precept on that? Well, you said what?
I said that he called us beast. The Lord called us beast.
I mean, if you could pull that one out. Well, what's the precept to prove that this is not talking about an actual beast?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Would it be the dragon with the horns?
Before we get to that one, right? Because that one just talks about the dragon, right? Most people will think that's an actual literal dragon. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else said Salakia?
So it would be in Book of Genesis.
You said the book of what?
Book of Genesis.
That would be a good one too. But here's the thing about Genesis. People will say the one in Genesis is an actual serpent.
Talking serpent.
Right. So how do we prove that these beasts are people? You said Salakia, officer of the shop?
Yeah, come. I'm trying to. It's the precept where he says that man, the precision. I can't. I'm trying to get the wording right. When you know what I mean, when they talk about the devil and he says the man.
Okay. Whenever you get it, let me know. Let's get what's the precept? Anybody on the chat as well, you can type it in. What precept or what scripture and verse backs up that statement? Think about it like this, right?
Oh,
what you got?
I got Ecclesiastes 3:18.
What'd that say? All right. When Christ came on this earth, he called us the lost what?
Sheep.
The what?
Lost sheep.
The lost what?
Sheep.
When Christ made a statement and broke down the parable of saying he was going to separate the sheep and the goat, is he literally talking about sheep and goat when he returns? He going to separate? Is anybody familiar with that parable? He said, "When I'm going to separate the goats from the sheep." Now, when Christ comes and returns, or when he was even living and teaching, was he only teaching sheep and goats? When he said he came for the lost sheep, did he actually come to gather all the sheep and bring them all together and make a big herd? Well, what is the sheep that he was talking about? People, right? The goat he's talking about is people, right? So what scripture can we get to prove that that's what it's talking about? Go ahead.
Well, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 18 says, I said in my heart concerning the estate of the Son of Men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
That's a good precept. That's a good precept, brother. Yeah, I like that one. You know what I'm saying? They themselves are beasts, right? Well, let's get one that's more clear cut and straight to it, though. That's a good precept.
Slacky, sir.
Somebody said slacky.
Oh, talking about the beast of the field.
I think the shot got it though.
I'm gonna let you have it though.
You said what? The shot?
The beast of the field.
Which one is that one?
That's in the book of Genesis, sir. No?
Oh, man.
No? Oh, okay.
Nah, man, because people gonna think it's actually serpents that was talking about in the book of Genesis. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know the location, but it's one that calls man a beast that sitteth upon a throne.
Man. For time's sake, we're gonna go ahead and get it. And once I say it, y'all gonna be like, man. Oh, you said Salaki? Uh-oh. You getting close. You getting close. You getting close. Uh-oh. Let's go ahead and get it, right? Brother said Ezekiel.
I was thinking about Isaiah 56 and 9 and 10.
Isaiah 56, 9 and 10. What that one say?
The book of Isaiah chapter 56, verse 9 and 10 says, all ye beasts of the field, come to devour ye. All ye beasts in the forest. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving slumber.
God, that's a good precept. That's a good precept. What time is it? That's a good precept. But the one I was thinking about is Ezekiel 34 and 1. Ezekiel 34 and 1. It's going to let you know that in the books of Revelation is not literally talking about beasts, nor anywhere throughout the Bible when it mentions animals, depending on the context, is it literally talking about that animal, right? When it calls us sheep, we're not literally sheep. You know what I'm saying? We're humans, right? You know what I'm saying? But the Lord still refers to us as sheep. I mean, Christ is known as the Lion of Judah. Is he an actual lion? When Christ returns, are we expecting a lion to return on this earth? Nah, we're expecting a man to return. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is talking about, right? Let's get Ezekiel 34.
Okay. Verse 1.
Yeah, start me at verse 1.
Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel.
Of Israel. So we're talking about a people, Israel, right? Read on.
Prophesy and say unto them, Thus says the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock?
Right. Feed the flock, right? It's referring to Israel as a flock. Like a flock of sheep, right? But we're not actual animals, right? But it's using that as an analogy. Read on.
Come. Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock.
Mm-hmm.
The disease have ye not strengthened,
Mm-hmm.
neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken,
Mm-hmm.
neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost.
Right. Talking about the sheep, which is the children of Israel, right? We the ones that's broken down, destroyed. And our shepherds, meaning our leaders, have forgotten about us, man. They forgotten about their people. They're only worrying about the wealth of that or their lust that they can get from this place, from this world. Not caring about their brothers and sisters, man. Talking down on their brothers and sisters, hating on them, gossiping, turning their back on their own nation. You know what I'm saying? And we have become that type of sheep that the Bible is describing about. Right? Read on.
Come. But with force and with cruelty have you ruled them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were scattered because there is no shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And they became meat to all the beasts of the field.
They became what?
Meat to all the beasts of the field.
Israel became meat to all the beasts of the field. The sheep that is known as Israel became meat to all the beasts of the field. So the beast of the field has to be who? Right? If Israel is a people that is talking about as the sheep, then who's the beast of the field that it's talking about?
It's talking about the other nations.
The other nations. It's talking about people as well. It's talking about the people that's outside of Israel, that who we became a prey to. You know what I'm saying? These other nations has preyed on us. You know what I'm saying? And we became meat unto them. They has taken us and put us in captivity, put us in poverty, imposed Jim Crow laws on us, judged us wickedly. You know what I'm saying? Shot us down in the street unjustly. You know what I'm saying? This is what's happening to the children of Israel, man. Not to sheep, not to literal sheep, but the beast that is talking about is the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So when you read Revelations, you're not reading literal beast. You're not reading about a dog. You're not reading about a some type of animal or creature. You're reading about people, right? Let's jump back to Revelations.
Oh, God. 13 and 1. Oh, and I stood up in the sand of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and saw a beast rise up out of the sea.
Right, he's seen a people rise out of the sea. Right, read on.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right, 7 heads and 10 horns. What do these 7 heads represent first? Nations, right? It's talking about a people. Which nations that it's talking about?
7 heads of
the lucky.
Major nations, I guess, the most powerful nation.
Okay. You close on it. Close on it. I heard somebody else say Salami.
Go ahead, Officer. Y'all was up. You got it, sir.
I was gonna say the superpowers of the earth and the ruling nations, basically.
Okay. I mean, which ones though? I mean, right? It is, the powers that be. But which one would it be? All right. See,
sir.
Trooper will come close. Somebody said Salaki.
Sir.
Go ahead.
It was the superpowers that came about out of the Roman Empire when they fell, which was English, Spain, Germany, Portugal, France. I believe Russia was a part of that. And let's say English, Spain, France, Portugal. I forgot the other one, Salaki.
And Italy, right? Give the brother a hand. You know what I'm saying? He's exactly right. These came about after Rome fell, right? They established these governments, these European countries, after Rome fell. They spread themselves out throughout Europe, and formed themselves as an individual government, right? And these are the first 7 starting European countries, right, that we know of. You gonna say something else, Ra?
No, it's a lot. Sir, could you list those real quick? You said
Spain, France, Germany, Russia, England, Italy, and Portugal.
So America not in there? Because America came from there too.
America came from what European country though? England, right? People that sailed across the Atlantic was British, right? That goes to the 10 horns. Who would the 10 horns be? Right?
The 10 horns.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 horns will be the other nations that pretty much that coincided with the other nations being like within, like, I guess you could say uh um like United Nations type of ordeal, ones who follow after the white man.
Close. Not all the way.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Salakia?
Con, is that
Kyle, go ahead.
the 10 is going to be
Hold on, I think your
the
phone breaking up, the shot.
okay, Salaki, sir. The 10 would be the armies or the generals or whoever.
Salaki, is it just me or is your phone breaking up, boy? My bad.
Okay, might
I don't know if it's my end. Try it one more time, boy. My bad.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. The 10 would be the like with the when that, I forget, the army, when that general died, then all the officers and soldiers that were under him like made their own nation or whatever it was. They made their own. Like they took their own piece
That
of
is close of it, right? But
yeah.
which ones though, right? Which
Yeah,
ones was established from those armies or from those generals? Right? We have the 7 heads, right? Right. Imagine this, right? So in the vision, he's seeing the beast that represent people. Right? Now, on this beast has 7 heads. Those 7 heads represent the 7 countries of Europe that started after Rome fell. Right? And on those same heads, you have 10 horns. Right? So meaning these 10 horns are with the 7 heads. So they have to be together, right? So who would be the 10 horns? If the 7 heads are European, then what the 10 heads are? European.
European too,
right?
yeah.
They're European as well because they're on the head of the 7 heads, right? Right?
Come.
Okay, my fault. You was gonna say something?
Oh, La, sir. La, sir.
God. Okay, no sir. He said, Salaki, go ahead, also, right? The European Union is a close, right? They established the union first, right? But at first it was known as the common market, or the commerce was the common market of Europe, or the commerce market, if you can look that up, something like that. All right. These are the subsidiaries of these 7 nations, meaning they came from these 7 heads, right? You have Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Luxembourg, Ireland, Switzerland, the U.S., Scotland, Sweden, and Australia. These nations was established as a subsidiary, or what they call common market nations, from Europe, known as the European Union. All right? They came from these nations, right? Go ahead.
The European Economic Community.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? These people established themselves after the 7 heads. You know what I'm saying? And this is what the 7 heads and the 10 horns represent. This beast that came out of this water is the people that's ruling this earth today. It's not a talk about an actual beast with 7 heads, right? Read on.
And upon his horns 10 crowns.
Mm-hmm. Meaning they're power. They have power. They have military and infrastructure on this earth. Read on.
And upon his head the name of blasphemy.
Upon his head was what?
The name of blasphemy.
The name of blasphemy. Right? Read on.
And the beast which I saw like unto a leopard.
Mm-hmm.
And his feet were as feet of a bear.
Mm-hmm.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Now, what does this represent? Right? He said he's seen this beast. And it said the what of the leopard?
This beast which I saw was like a leopard.
Mm-hmm. Was like a leopard, right? Read on.
His feet were as feet of a bear.
His feet was bare feet. Read on.
And his mouth was as the mouth of a lion.
Now his mouth was the mouth of a lion. All these things are written for a reason, because it's describing something. Right? This beast, this is describing how it looked. Right? And his character and his behavior. Right? So what is these 3 things talking about? Go ahead.
Are you talking about the nations that they conquered prior?
Give the brother a hint. You know what I'm saying? The leopard would be who?
The leopard is Greeks.
You said what?
Greeks.
Say it one more time, louder. Greeks. Right? If you read in history, Alexander the Greek was known for wearing a leopard mantle. That's how he's recorded historically in the Greek records. He's always known, and every time he went to war with the leopard mantle, right? The bear would be who? The Persians, right? Right? The Persians, right? You ever heard of the Persian bear? Good. That's exactly what it is, right? And the lion will be who then? All right. The lion will be who? Yeah. We already said the Persians, the Greeks. We're missing one more. Who else was conquered?
We were conquered.
Before, right? You got the Greeks who conquered the Persians. So who the Persians conquered?
Greeks conquered the Persians.
Mm-hmm. No, so the Greeks is leopard, right? The bear is Persian. The lion would be.
Oh, that would be England.
Anybody want to give it a shot?
Wait, we going?
Yeah, going backwards.
Going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Greeks conquered the Persians conquered the Babylonians.
That's what I said.
The Syrians.
Thank you. Get a brother ahead. Get a brother ahead. I mean, this is close. You know what I'm saying? The Syrians. You know what I'm saying? They're known for that lion as well, right? You ever seen a statue with the wing lion? You know what I'm saying? That comes from the Assyrian. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we doing.
Mm-hmm. God. Right. This is the Bible is prophesying about this beast, meaning the reason why it's mentioning this beast, because the one that exists with the 7 heads and the 10 horns, it has the same spirit as the previous empires. It has the same ways in society as the Greek Empire. In what way? Right? If anybody familiar with how the Greeks existed, they was known for homosexuality. They was known for having the 12 tribes of Israel in slavery. And they was known for the Senate, the Republic, all of that stuff. You dig what I'm saying? That was established in the Greek Empire. This beast adopted that ways into his society. Same thing with the Persians, same thing with the Assyrians. They all had the 12 tribes of Israel in slavery. And the current beast today, that the current nation that rules today, practice the same thing. The reason why they was able to get their power that they have today is by making you a slave, man. By making blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people a slave. And that was nothing new. Every nation did that. And God judged all of them the same. Well, guess what? This beast is no different. You know what I'm saying? Let's read on Revelations.
Okay. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Mm-hmm. So the dragon gave him his power, right? If we read about the chapter before that, it talks about the dragon being Esau or the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? Gave him this power. Rome done fell, right? Now it needed somebody to take his place, right? And this is who we reading about right now. Read on.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded.
You saw what?
One of his heads as it were wounded.
So John seen one of his heads as if it was wounded, right? Esau gave this beast this power, right? Which is the red dragon in chapter 12, right? But one of his heads was wounded. Which one was wounded that it's talking about?
It's like it's talking about Rome.
But which one is mentioned in the 7 heads that we talk about? What is Rome? What city?
Greek.
What country does Rome? Italy, right? That's one of the 7 heads, right? Rome fell, right? It fell to the Byzantine Empire, and then it went into the Dark Ages. You know what I'm saying? Rome was wounded. You know what I'm saying? The head that is talking about is Italy. Read on.
Okay. And his deadly wound was healed.
His deadly wound was what?
Healed.
But it was brought back to life. Right? Read on.
And all the world wondered after the beast.
Uh-huh.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
Now, the Italy, which one was one of the 7 heads, was wounded. But it saw his wounds being healed. What is that talking about?
It's talking about after Rome fell, then Great Britain became the next worldly power.
Not necessarily.
It's in the Renaissance.
Thank you. Get a brother ahead. You know what I'm saying? The Roman Renaissance, right? The word Renaissance means rebirth, right? It was around the 14th century when Rome started to rebuild itself, right? The 1300s around there, late 1300s, when Rome started to establish itself to being great again on this earth, right? Existing again on this earth. And the way that they did it through the Renaissance arts period, right? Building Caesar Borgia, making the Last Supper, making themselves unto be gods on this earth. You know, Michelangelo and Raphael, them cats like that. Right, the popes. You know what I'm saying? Pope Leo, Pope Alexander, all the popes. You know what I'm saying? This was during the Roman Renaissance, Romans rebirth. And everybody wondered at it. And they worshiped this beast. How do they worship the beast? In what way? Christianity. Right? Christianity is all about what? Yeah, my bad. my bad, Ryan. For time's sake, I'm just letting it run through. My bad. But yeah, God, you know what I'm saying? Through Christianity. You think Christianity is about worshiping God. You would think that's what it's about. But it's really about white supremacy. That's all it's really about. A black man would not know what Christianity was if it wasn't for his slave master, who taught it unto him. And everything that they taught you is how to be a good slave. Go ahead.
Isn't it paganism too?
It's exactly that. Because Christ was what? A black man. Let's get that real quick. For time's sake, real quick, for all the naysayers out there that says, well, color don't matter. You know, he was all colors. He was olive color. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nobody walking around green, right? Olives come in 2 colors, black or green. So if he's olive color, he got to be black then, right? Let's get that real quick. So and then we go back to Revelations, man, before they kick us out.
Revelations chapter 1, verse 14. And his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes was as a flame of fire.
Right.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Unto fine brass. They're talking about Jesus Christ's feet was like unto fine brass. What color is brass?
Brown.
Brown. Right? Have you met anybody whose feet color was different from the rest of his body? Right? If he's looking at his feet and his feet is brown, what is the color of the rest of his body?
Should be brown.
Thank you. Yeah, right? That's obvious, right? Like it should be. I mean, God, what else color is going to be? Jesus Christ was a black man, right? Let's drop that. Let's go back to Revelation. My bad. I just wanted that real quick. My fault, True Khan, what he said. So like made questions. So that's why the Most High prophesied King of Kings. Seen somewhere that Xerxes made that declaration. The King of Kings. I mean, if you want to ask that, yeah, you can ask a question, I guess, Thursday. But yeah, Christ is mentioned as the King of Kings because he's ruling over powers on this earth, right? He's the king of all so-called kings. You know what I'm saying? Lord of lords. You know what I'm saying? And Christ is coming to take the crown from everybody, right? Let's get that real quick. Back to Revelation.
Okay. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast?
Who is like Caesar Borgia? Not much. Jesus. You think you're worshiping Jesus Christ, when really you're worshiping your slave master. You're worshiping the beast, man. They set up this image as a lie. It's a blasphemy according to God, man. That is not true according to the Bible. Jesus, the Most High, don't want you to be serving Jesus Christ as a mythical creature, as some white boy that don't exist. He wants you to know the truth and how you should serve him. How could you serve him and if all you know of him is him to be a white man?
Right.
Or him to be passive and loving and all caring and all that bull crap. You don't know how to serve God because you don't even know who Jesus Christ is, man. You're worshiping the beast. Jesus Christ, I love you. You know what I'm saying? You think you serving God. You know what I'm saying? You worshiping the beast, man. Read on.
And who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Who is able to make war with them? Right? He's going around the earth, conquering nations and forcing them under their religion, under his religion, under his philosophy. Right? You got places like China that, got Christian cross and Christian churches set up in China. And it was an article was brought out how they were shutting down those churches, burning them down in China. You know why they doing that? It's not because they hate God and all that, or whatever, regardless. But they doing that because that is not the religion of their culture or of their identity. They understand that what is being brought unto them has nothing to do with God, but everything to do with white supremacy. And that's what's been pushed on this earth, man. Somebody give me iconoclasm real quick. You know what I'm saying? During the Roman Renaissance, they will burn down black paintings of Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? They will make sure they destroy the paintings of Jesus Christ. And they established the white pictures that we see today. It was formed by the Roman Catholic Church, by Pope Alexander, the Sixth of Rome. He established that picture. Before that, it never existed, man. That picture never existed. It was always known that Jesus Christ to being a dark-skinned man. And you might say, well, why does that matter? Right? Everybody would love to say representation matters, right? Let's say, that's time.
Yeah, that's time.
All right. All right. You know what I'm saying? They say representation matters, right? You got kids that's they have kids that have shows where they're showing, they show. I'm trying to go. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get this point out, right? And they have movies where they show representation of all countries. They show the black child in the movie and Pixar movies and showing the Latin side and all of that stuff. They're doing that so that they can have a connection with their audience because they understand that representation matters. Well, guess what? It's no different when it comes with God. All that matters so you can make your connection with God. The same way the Disney movie wants you to make a connection with Disney. You dig what I'm saying? You cannot connect with the Most High if you're serving your slave master, if you're serving the beast. You had that for me real quick? Yeah, what's that?
Real quick. Iconoclasm is the social belief in the importance of the destruction of icons and other images or monuments, most frequently for religious and political reasons.
God, you know what I'm saying? This is what they did during the Dark Ages and to rebuild Rome, right? And you see, like the brother put up the images of Black Christ, of all the prophets, you know what I'm saying, and all the disciples of Christ, right? So with that, man, for time's sake, man, we're going to go ahead and end it. Lord allow, we can continue on next week. The water, all the brothers, man, the water, Officer Nashat, you know what I'm saying, Officer Ra'ai, Officer Yawasap, Trooper Kanak, Trooper Mathaya, all y'all brothers coming through, everybody in the chat, man. Class will continue on tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. And with that, we say shalom, Israel.
Shalom, sir.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Watch you, sir.